Hello everyone. In this issue, I would like to think about automobile transportation and the environment. Cars are convenient vehicles, but they also cause various problems such as global warming due to CO2 emissions. To consider countermeasures, let's first take a look at the current situation. The first negative aspect of automobile transportation is that the combustion of gasoline and diesel fuel produces carbon dioxide, which contributes to global warming. This figure shows Japan's share of CO2 emissions by sector in 2021. Automobile transportation makes up the bulk of the transportation sector, with a share of about 17.4%, second only to the industrial sector in terms of share. Therefore, reducing CO2 emissions from the transportation sector is an important issue. The second negative aspect of automobile transportation is that nitrogen oxides, NOx, and suspended particulate matter, SPM, in exhaust gases cause air pollution and contribute to respiratory diseases. Third, depending on location and time of day, time and fuel loss may occur due to road congestion. Fourth, there are human and material losses due to traffic accidents. Fifth, depending on the location, noise can be a problem. It is important to keep in mind that all of these negative aspects occur during the stage of use. In the previous article, we saw that taxation is imposed at each stage of vehicle acquisition, ownership, and use, but it is thought that environmental issues do not arise from acquisition and ownership themselves. Issues at the production and distribution stages need to be considered separately. This point will be discussed in detail in the next article. Another point to keep in mind is that even if zero emissions are achieved for automobiles, the third through fifth problems will not go away. Noise is considered to be an issue of sound quality, not volume. Around the world, policies have been established to ban the sale of new gasoline-powered vehicles and diesel-powered vehicles by around 2035. In Europe, sales of new vehicles, including hybrids and plug-in hybrids, will be banned. However, considerations are underway to allow the sale of them if synthetic fuels are used. Synthetic fuels are produced by synthesizing CO2 and hydrogen, H2. When hydrogen derived from renewable energy sources is used, it is sometimes referred to as e-fuel. Hybrid vehicles will also be banned in the U.S. states of California and New York, with the exception of some plug-in hybrids. Japan plans to exempt hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles from the ban. There is also a mechanism to encourage the spread of environmentally friendly vehicles by providing tax incentives for their use. This table shows the tax incentives for private passenger cars as of 2023. Next-generation vehicles, such as electric vehicles, are not subject to the environmental performance-based automobile tax and automobile weight tax, and the automobile tax by vehicle type is reduced by 75%. Gasoline-powered vehicles, on the other hand, are eligible for tax reductions only for vehicles that substantially exceed fuel economy standards. However, as this table shows, the spread of environmentally friendly vehicles appears to be a long road ahead. This table shows the number of environmentally friendly vehicles, known as next-generation vehicles, in use. In 2021, the number of hybrid vehicles in use exceeded 10 million, but their share was only about 17%. Electric vehicles are also expected to spread rapidly in the future, but at this stage their share is only 0.2%. Taking into account the recent power shortages and soaring electricity prices, there is a mountain of issues to be addressed in terms of how to improve infrastructure, including securing electricity. Finally, let us look at the negative aspects of automobile transportation mentioned earlier from an economic perspective. These can be considered typical examples of external diseconomies. Costs associated with external diseconomies are referred to as external costs, and in this case, they are costs associated with the use of vehicles and fuel that are not borne by consumers, drivers, or producers, car manufacturers, dealers, gas stations, etc. For example, if the consumption of fuel causes global warming and various damages, the costs associated with this are not included in the price paid for the fuel in market transactions. So how much is this external cost? This table is an example of a study that surveyed examples of studies that have been estimated around the world and estimated them while keeping them in line with the current situation in Japan. Because of the wide range of estimates, values for the medium case are quoted. As in the previous example, if the car runs 10,000 kilometers per year and the actual fuel consumption is 15 kilometers per liter, the external cost would be about 110,000 yen per year. We felt the tax burden was high, but we also incurred the same amount of external costs. Looking at the breakdown, the cost of global warming due to CO2 emissions from fuel consumption, estimating damages and the cost of prevention measures, amounts to about 18 yen and 90 sen per liter of gasoline, 30,000 yen per ton of carbon. The cost of air pollution, e.g., health costs, is estimated to be about 9 yen and 90 sen per liter of gasoline consumed. Congestion varies widely by time of day and location, but is estimated to average about 7 yen per kilometer driven by automobiles. Time loss and other factors are taken into account. For accidents, it is estimated that the average cost per kilometer driven by a car is about 2 yen and 50 sen. Noise is discarded here because it is expected to appear in the form of lower land prices in noisy areas and must be considered separately from external costs expressed in terms of fuel consumption or vehicle miles traveled. By daring to value the various negative aspects in monetary terms, it becomes possible to compare their severity, both large and small, and to consider the cost-effectiveness of countermeasures. In the next issue, we will consider the future taxation of automobiles in light of the environmental issues we have looked at here. Thanks for watching.